Shalom friends, let's continue learning where we left off last time with we're in Likutei Halachos, Hilchos Yom Kippur, and you can download the Hebrew edition by going to breslovbooks.org and clicking on Likutei Halachos and looking for Hilchos Yom Kippur, the Halachos of Yom Kippur. Okay, so we just to quick review. We're talking about that Yom Kippur. The main rectification of Yom Kippur is in the rectification of the mitzvah or the covenant of sexual purity, and that most of the things that we see that all the customs and all the details of what we're doing with Yom Kippur have to do with this rectification. Okay, so we're on Ot Dalid. And it says like this: "V'zeh bechinas hatainis shemis'anin b'Yom Kippurim k'dei l'hachniya ruach habahamius shehu bechinas pegam habris." And this is the aspect of why we fast on Yom Kippur, because on fasting we're subjugating the spirit of animalism that we have. That the animal just doesn't only eats and is only attracted to urges, is only involved with satisfying urges, and so we're fasting on Yom Kippur to subjugate that part of ourselves, the animal instincts. Now, when we subjugate our animal nature, then what we do is we become truly the aspect of Adam, of a man, because one of the main differences between a true man, according to what the Torah is encouraging us and imploring us to become an Adam. The difference between an Adam, a person, and an animal is in the consciousness and the ability to not just absent-mindedly, completely based upon our physicality, to go after our urges, but rather to become conscious of our Creator and to control and choose to not give in to the urges, or at least to put boundaries on our urges, because an animal certainly never does that. Man natile me'arba yisodin delay ve'afrik shlei metayva tilhon. So when a person says, when Hashem says he took man and he made him from the four foundational elements, and he and separated out from the physical urges. So therefore on Yom Kippur, that's what we do. We separate ourselves from all of our physical urges in order to sublimate and subjugate the animalistic part of ourselves, which is the aspect of the blemishing of the covenant of sexual purity. Because like Rabbi Nachman teaches, the covenant of sexual purity is the all-encompassing desire. Or I should say, the desire for sexuality is the all-encompassing desire. So therefore, the covenant of sexual purity includes all of the different things. See, what we're trying to do, what gets in the way, like we said, that it says, Lo teturach what we see and what we feel. So when we have feelings, when we have urges, that gets in the way, that limits our awareness of Hashem. So what we're looking to do is refine our awareness of Hashem to the point, ideally, where we would never ever forget Hashem by being immersed in our physicality. So even though we're talking about sexuality, but this includes all the other types of ta'avot, of physical urges, eating, the urge for money, the urge for honor. All these things are when a person's wanting honor, when they're looking to being liked. What's tavas kavod? I want to be liked because it doesn't feel comfortable to me when I'm not liked. And we want but the tavas achila. I'm not comfortable when I'm feeling hungry, and so I want to go after that. So I want to soothe my lack of comfort. And what we ideally wanting to get to through prayer and through our efforts is that all of our comfort really comes from Hashem, and that we're willing to allow Hashem to give us comfort and discomfort according to His will. And that's a very high level, but it's something we're trying to aspire towards. We're trying to become to that level while we're here in this world, gradually over many years of constant pleading with Hashem and constantly making efforts, but never to the point where it weighs us down and makes us uptight and upset and anything less than happy. So we're looking to do this especially on Yom Kippur, and that's why we separate Shu Klalis Kolatayvos, Kidei Lizkos Lebechinas Adam, that we become the aspect of a man, true what a person, what an Adam really is, Shu Bechinas Das. Now the main thing about it says brought by our sages and all throughout Torah, that the main definition of Adam is someone who has Das. Das literally means knowledge, and Das means knowledge, meaning that the knowledge that I have that this moment is being created by my Creator according to His will, only for the good. That's called Das, and that's what we want to have. And when a person has Das, when a person has that knowledge, then he's really in the definition of being a person. When he or she has this knowledge, that's called being an Adam. Ki Shem Adam lo nikra ela Habardas, because the person who's, as we said, only the person who has this type of knowledge is called Adam, as is brought in our sources and by our sages. Because this is the difference, this is the advantage, this is the main differentiation between a person and an animal, is that knowledge of Hashem. So when we get to this rectification of the sexual purity, the covenant of sexual purity, through our fasting, through our pushing down our physical urges, when we become an aspect of a knowing person, a person who knows the Creator in the moment, then this causes a forgiving of all the sins. This is what it says, who knows the spirit of a human that goes up as opposed to the spirit of an animal that descends downwards. That means to say that when we subjugate and we sublimate and we push down our animalistic nature, we push it down, which, as we said, is the blemish of the covenant. We do this through fasting. So this aspect of this pushing down of the animal nature, which is the rectification of the covenant, is the aspect of this having the spirit of a human. Holehi lamala. That is when we're talking about it goes ha'olehi lamala. It goes up above. Los hadas b'chinas kinesha ya'yachino, to raise up our awareness of Hashem, like the aspect of like the nesher, like the eagle illuminates, or I should say, or awakens his nest. V'zeu mi yodeh. When it says mi yodeh, who knows? Ki al yedei zeh zochin l'das. Kitikun habris ola lebala umerimis hadas. Because when we rectify the covenant of sexual purity, then there's a elevation and an expansion of our awareness of Hashem. And this is why we have these 5 afflictions that are the halachic observers, how we observe Yom Kippur, through 5 specific afflictions that is brought. And Sha'omrim b'Yom Kippur kedelis kois l'Shem l'Hei Hadas, because these 5 is the letter Hey, and Hey is the 5 is the gematria of Hey, and Hey is the. When we say the ha ish, ha ta'anis, the person, the fast, which means that this is the definitive. We are knowing exactly who we're talking about. That's why the Hey is called Hey Hadas, the Hey of knowledge, because we're talking about which one? This one, the one we know about. So a Hey, which is gematria of 5, is related to the aspect of knowledge, of awareness. So therefore, there are specifically 5 prohibitions, 5 afflictions that we with which we afflict ourselves on Yom Kippurim. So this is one of them, is that we're forbidden to wear leather shoes. Like it says when Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu at the burning bush to take off your shoes. That means to say that Hashem was telling him that your job right now is to divest yourself of all physicality, of all physical urges. Dahainu taivas haklalios, which means especially the desire for sexuality. K'mosh diisa shal na'alecha dagufa. And it's brought down by the sages that when it says this, shal na'alecha, take off the shoes refers to the body. Gam itasham shal na'alecha dam itasa. Also, it's brought to that the removing of the shoe is the separation from women. Da itata kidze klal kol hatavos hagufanios, because we said that is the all-encompassing physical desire. Now also, not only do we have these five afflictions, but we have 5 sets of prayers on Yom Kippurim. Because aside from Yom Kippurim, we have no other day in the entire year we have 5 sets of prayers. Every day we know that we have 3 sets. We have the Arlis, we have the evening prayer, Shachris, the morning prayer, and Mincha, the afternoon prayer. And then on Shabbos and Rosh Chodesh and Yom Tov, we have another thing called Musaf, additional prayer. But on Yom Kippur, in addition to those 4, we have the prayer called Ne'ilah, the locking of the gates. And that is the 5 prayers. And again, that's because he's saying that this is relating to the fact that 5 is definition, is delineation, is the Hey Hadas, the aspect of defining and delineating what we know, that we know that it is this, because that is the absolute epitome of completion of the spiritual power of prayer, when there's absolute das, when there's absolute knowledge, malchus, because this is the aspect of Malchus. Malchus is, we've talked about before, the aspect of manifestation. The absolute manifestation of something is called its Malchus. So when we're manifesting the spiritual power of prayer, this is through the aspect of 5. And we also, if you look at the translation, if you understand the Hebrew, you'll see that we spend a tremendous amount of time praising Hashem with tremendous, amazing amounts of praise on Yom Kippurim. So how do we're rectifying speech by using our speech in the proper way. What's the proper way? To praise the Creator, to praise the one who gave us speech. And through merit, through this rectification, through this polishing up of our speech, then our speech becomes accepted, that our prayers become accepted on Yom Kippur. And then through that we merit to have white garments, that all the stains are transformed from red into white, as we've talked about earlier. Okay, letter Hey. Now we're going to explain here also in the same context, why do we say after we say Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, we usually whisper Baruch Shem Kavod Malchus Le'olam Va'ed, right? But on Yom Kippur we're supposed to say it out loud, Baruch Shem Kavod Malchus Le'olam Va'ed. And why do we say it that way? Machma she'en az achiza lechitzonin kemuva. Because in that time, on Yom Kippurim, the other side, the external forces, the forces of evil, don't have a grasp like they do the rest of the year. And it is because the reason they don't have a grasp on us is because of the rectification of our sexuality. Shana says, Kikasa Rebbeinu, as Rabbi Nachman says, in Likutei Moharan 36, that these 2 verses, Shema Yisrael and Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuso, Misugalin Lahachnia Taivas Klalius Kanal. The Rebbe Nachman says that, and it's one of his pieces of advice, that if a person has a arousal of sexuality, has a feeling of lust come over him, and wants to stop it, he can say Shema Yisrael, and saying Shema Yisrael will put aside the feelings of lust. Ki al yadam nichla'in b'malchus t'kedusha she'omedes al bechinas yud bez shivtei. Ki al yadam nichla'in b'malchus t'kedusha, that through saying these verses we become included in the manifestation of kedusha she'omedes al bechinas yud shivtei, that is standing on the aspect of the 12 tribes, because the 12 tribes are the embodiments, the complete embodiment of all the kedusha, all the holiness of the nation of Israel. Shehem bechinas yud beis tevos sheyesh b'shnei psukim elu. Because if you look at the words Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Shem Echad, that's 6 words. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuso Le'olam Va'ed is 6 words. So we have together those 12 words, and those 12 words represent the 12 tribes. Ayin Sham. Rabbi Nachman explains that over there. V'zeh shematzinu shebaruch Shem Kivod Malchuso Le'olam Va'ed tikno Yaakov Avinu alav shalom be'is she'achashash shem yesh shalom shemetz pusul b'vanav. We see where do we first find out this verse? There was by Yaakov Avinu. By Yaakov, he said when his sons came to him, and Yaakov was concerned lest there be any type of blemish of disconnection from godliness and holiness amongst his sons. So then they said Shema Yisrael, and they said listen Israel, and he said V'ra'ak shekulam mikablim aleihem ol malchus shamayim, and he saw in this that they all indeed were completely accepting upon themselves the yoke of serving Hashem, of the yoke of heaven. And so therefore he said Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuso Le'olam Va'ed Bechinas Tikun Abris Umitato Shlema Me Shneim Asar Shivteka Al Ken Patach V'Amar. And that's what he said, because he saw in this that there was a complete holiness in all of his offspring, which that was not something that we saw with his father Yitzchak, because Yitzchak had Yaakov, and he also had the aspect of darkness, evil, that was separated out, which was Esav. And so too Avraham had Yitzchak and also Yishmael. So that with Avraham and Yitzchak, it wasn't a complete manifestation of Kedusha from them. And Yaakov, by the time it got to Yaakov, the Kedusha had been sifted out to the point that all his offspring were completely holy. So therefore he said, Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuso Le'olam Va'ed. Blessed is the kavod of his malchus, of his kingdom, forever and ever. Kiyata nishlam malchus t'kedusha al yedei amita shlema shel 12 shivteka shekulim tzadikim v'hinei nimtza b'shnei psukim elu hem klei milchamtenu lehachnia hatay v'hanal. And so therefore we see that from these two verses, these are our main weapon for war, to subjugate lust. So therefore when we say rest of the year, we say Baruch Shem Kivod Malchus, so we whisper it, because we want to not provoke the forces of evil, because what Baruch Shem Kivod Malchus means is that God's kavod, God's honor, God's presence is manifested everywhere, even in evil. But we don't say that loud, because that even though God's presence is manifested even in evil, that Hashem created everything, but we're still subjected to the forces of those evil the rest of the year. So therefore we don't say that loud, because we want to avoid provoking the forces of evil to become stronger upon us. Now on Yom Kippur, however, there is no access point for the evil, because we're completely purified, and so therefore on Yom Kippur, since there's no aspect of the access for evil, we're able to say Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuso Le'olam Va'ed in a loud voice. Because the main manifestation of the main access point for evil is in the actual manifestation, again, which is called Malchus, and so therefore we hide that during the rest of the year. But in the aspect of Hashem's unity, when we say Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, that unity, that there's no grasping. Evil can't do anything to damage God's unity, God forbid. So therefore, we can say the Shema out loud all the time. Ki baruch shem kavod malchus le'olam ve'ed shu bechinas malchus hu bechinas shleimus lashon hakodesh al yedei lashon targum. Because the idea of saying baruch shem kavod malchuso, where there's in the aspect of where it's mixed, in other words, where Hashem's holiness and goodness is hidden and imbued inside the evil, and covered by that. That's an aspect of what's called of completion of the holy tongue through the tongue of translation, which is Aramaic. Now, Aramaic is holy letters with a profane language. Aramaic is not a holy language, but it's written with holy letters. So it's this idea of the mixture of profanity with holiness. And so what we do is we're separating out those sparks of holiness from the profanity and to raise them up. And that's bechinas shleimus lashon hakodesh al yedei lashon targum shal yada machnin tabes klalios. And then when that happens, is the evil falls away and the good is raised up, and that subjugates and sublimates all of the evil lusts. Ki malchus peh v'torah shabal peh karinin la. Because another aspect of Malchus is it says the mouth is Malchus. That our teachings teaches that the mouth is Malchus because that's what manifests. When we have a thought and then it comes into a word, that word is a final manifestation. So it's called Malchus Peh, the manifestation of Malchus, the mouth, the sovereignty, the kingdom of the mouth. And so therefore, when we raise that up, that's the raising up of that is the aspect of what we do with Torah Sheba'al Peh and the oral Torah, because this is the aspect of completing a holy tongue through the language of Targum, the language of the interpretation, which again is Aramaic. Valkein nistakein Talmud b'lashon Targum, and that's why when you learn Talmud, you learn in Aramaic, because this is the aspect of making siftings. That's what we do. The entire Talmud is about siftings, because Hashem's unity, Hashem took His unity in the infinite light and then brought it down into finite physicality and tremendous amounts of multiplicity. And then in the discussions that we do, in the halachic discussions, we sift out the mixture of tov and ra. They sift out the tov, the good from the ra, in our discussions, and when we make halacha, and that brings everything back up. So Hashem makes us the partners He creates the world. It takes infinite unity and brings it down into finite physicality and tremendous amounts of multiplicity. And then our job is we get to go into the world of multiplicity, and through our free choice and through our power of sifting, to sift out the good and to let the evil fall away. Because the Talmud is the main manifestation of the oral Torah. And that's why the written Torah doesn't include all the points of the Torah Sheba'al Peh, of the oral Torah. That the oral Torah was always only translated orally. And this where we say this aspect of that. Oh, I'm sorry. So now he's saying something else here. He's saying that it's not in the Torah. When you see in the Torah, it says Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad ve'ahavta, and it doesn't say that Baruch Shem Kavod Malchus Le'olam Ve'ed. Where do we get that? We're supposed to say Baruch Shem Kavod from the oral Torah, and so that's why that oral Torah is transmitted orally, and it's not written, because this has to be hidden. This manifestation of Hashem's oneness that's even found in evil, it has to be hidden. It can't be revealed in a revealed way, because that brings about the forces of evil to do their job even more, which is to try to hide the holiness, to hide good. And because the evil's main grasp and ability to damage comes through Malchus, comes through the final manifestation, which is, we say, is Malchus Peh, in words. So therefore we say it silently, this pasuk. Because in that place of sifting is the main war that wage against evil. Because the translation of Aramaic is something called klipas noga. Klipas noga. Now, klipa in general is entirely evil, but klipat noga is a mixture. Is in the klipa itself is imbued some holiness, and it needs to be sifted out. Bechinas etzadas tovara, which is the ultimate manifestation of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. וכנגד זה, מצינו גם כן ב-12 שבטי קה, שנסחלקו גם כן לשני חלקים כנגד שני הפסוקים הנ"ל. Now we also see in the same manner that when the 12 tribes are divided into two parts, into two halves. One half of the 12 tribes, 6 tribes, stood on Hareval, and the other 6 tribes stood on Har Grizim for the blessings and the curses. Shapasuk Rishon Shema Kulo Kodesh, because Shema Yisrael is all holiness, because it's the aspect of Hashem Echad. Vein Sham Shum Achiza Klal. And there's no evil there, no duality, no multiplicity that hides the unity. Aval Bapasik Hasheni Shama Milchama V'Sham Achiza Sam. But again, in Baruch Shem Kibud Malchuso, that's the main place, that's the main manifestation of where we make war against evil. Ukemokin Nechlaku Shpatim V'Shas Habrachos Klal. That 6 tribes, and this is the manifestation of the 6 tribes, that 6 went up for blessing and 6 went up for cursing. Because in the aspect of the 6 words of the Shema, which it's all good, it's all holy, and there's no connection of evil or darkness or curse at all. אבל 6 המקללים הם כנגד פסוק ברוך שם כיוון מלכוסו לעולם ועד, ששם יש בחינס תרגום. That in the cursing, the side of curses, which is the 6 words of Baruch Shem Kavod, then we have in the aspect there of the mixture of good and evil, where the main war is the separation out of the good from the evil. Bechinas etzadas, the aspect of the tree of knowledge, as we said, shesham achizasam. Al kein yesham hazkaras klalos shetzrich lekalam ulachniam levatel ra shebetargum ulahalos hatov lahashlim lashon hakodesh. And so therefore that's the aspect of what the curses are. The cursing is the cursing of the parts of darkness, the cursing of evil to subjugate it and to push it down and to nullify evil that's in the mixture and to raise up the good which causes the completion of the holy tongue. And again, this is the aspect of when there's a completion of the holy tongue. It's also the aspect of the guarding of the covenant. That through this there's the completion and the perfection of the birthings of the 12 tribes. Because the ability to have blessing or curse, God forbid, is completely dependent on the guarding of the covenant of sexual purity. It says in the verse, see, in the parsha I placed before you blessing and curse. Before you specifically, it says, Valkein kiyom biyom kippurim sha'az hu bechinas tikun abrias b'shleimus alkein ein lahem chiza alkein omrim az baruch shem kivud malchus le'olam va'ed b'kol ram. So that's again why we're saying this verse out loud, because there is no access point for evil at all. Shezeh bechinas shleimus tikun abris, and this is the completion of the rectification of sexual purity. Ka'az yoreim mehem, because because the evil forces are afraid of the destruction that awaits them through this perfection. V'gam haramas kol modeh al tikkun adas, and also raising the voice is an allusion to rectification of knowledge, because when you raise your voice, when you say something loud, when you say something powerfully, you're much more connected to the awareness of what you're saying. Because Yom Kippurim is the day of the manifold manifestation of the knowledge of Hashem. It's the day when Moshe came down with the second set of tablets. It's the anniversary of the giving of the Torah. Otvav Valkein nechtamin b'Yom Kippurim, and that's why we get sealed in the Book of Life on Yom Kippurim. Ki tikkun habris hu b'chinas chotem, because the rectification of the covenant is an aspect of a stamp or a seal, b'chinas v'tzetzae hatam be'os bris kodesh, that his descendants were stamped with the sign of the holy covenant. And that's why the main final stamp or sealing that happens in the prayer of Ne'ilah, the final prayer service for Yom Kippur. Because that's when there's the completion of this whole process of the rectification of the Holy Covenant through the 5 afflictions that we've been afflicting ourselves the entire day. And this is when we have completed all the 5 sets of prayer that we've been praying the entire day from the night before. That all of this is the completion of rectification of the Holy Covenant. Then that's why this is the final sealing that's happening. The stamp, the final when you close a letter and you put the insignia, the stamp of the insignia that closes the letter, completely seals it. Ki choisem shel Yom Kippurim hu bechinas choisem shel Tikkun Bris, k'vi hamuvan min divrei Rabbeinu Ne'iro v'mamar Chot Amos. In Rebbe Nachman talks about this in Likutei Halachos 22. Ki choisem shel Yom Kippurim, because the seal of Yom Kippur hu chosem harishon mipapnimi shu chosem haraglim. Because Rabbi Nachman talks about that there's something called chosem, and there's the chosem b'to chosem. There's a seal, and then there's a seal within a seal. And this is the Yom Kippurim is the first level of sealing, of being sealed, which is the aspect of the seal of the legs. Kamoshikasu. Rabbi Nachman explains that over there, and you take a look at that Torah to understand that more. V'chosem raglim u'bechinas chosem ois bris kodesh b'yadua, and the seal that's the Chosem Raglin literally means the seal of the legs, but Raglin refers to the lowest point. Which is the seal of the sign of the Holy Covenant. Rabbi Nachman talks about over there that when there's the completion of the Holy Covenant, it causes the aspect of coagulation of blood and which turns red blood into white milk. V'nistakein hadam nidos, and it rectifies the blood of nida, which is the blood of impurity, which is the blood of potential of life that doesn't come to fruition. Va'al yedeh zeh na'aseh b'chinas choisem shehu hefech dam nidos, and that makes this seal, which is the opposite of the blood of nida. Because see, when a fetus starts to become viable, so this is like an aspect of it becomes sealed within its manifestation of potential, whereas otherwise that potential comes out as wasted when the time of the menstrual cycle, and that's why there's an impurity whenever there's life that doesn't come to a potential for life that doesn't come to fruition. Non-manifestation is an aspect of evil, and is an aspect of evil energies, evil vibrations. Valkain mefaisin zeh be'erev Yom Kippurim kedei l'sakin chosam penimi anal shu talui b'shalom ha'olam. And also, this is connected, and again in that Torah that Rabbi Nachman teaches over there, you see that this seal of the Raglin of this lower place is the manifestation of a rectification for the world, which is the aspect of peace in the world. So therefore, there's the halacha that when we appease each other and apologize to each other on Erev Yom Kippurim, and that is necessary for the full rectification of all the blemishes that happens from our sins, God forbid. And then also this is also the custom to give a lot of tzedakah on Erev Yom Kippurim. Ki tzedakah hu gam ken tikkun klali, because tzedakah is also a general rectification. That we say when we say a tshuva, that repentance and tefillah and tzedakah and prayer and charity is what pushes away, what wipes away the evil decree. Shehem tzom kol mamun. And we see, if you ever see in the Machzor, when it says that there's the little words above each one of them, it says tzom, which is when it says tshuva is tzom, is fasting, tefillah is the voice, and tzedakah is mamon, is money. Shemekayim kulam b'yom kippurim, that all these three things are done for Yom Kippurim. Keep kulam hem b'chinas tikkun klali, because each of these is a manifestation of a general rectification. Kitzom he b'chinas tikkun habris shehu klali hagidin, because fasting is an aspect of rectification of the covenant, because it is the manifestation, is the all-encompassing of all the sinews. V'akol hainu b'chinas tikkun klali shel hadibur shenasa b'yom kippurim al yedei hashvachim l'Shem yisbarach shemarbim me'od b'yom kippurim. And that the voice is again the rectification of speech, which what happens through all our praises of Hashem on Yom Kippur, that we do tremendous amounts of praising, and that fixes up our speech. U'mammon hainu tzedakah, and mammon is money, is giving charity. Hutikun klali shel masa matan, and giving charity is a general rectification for all business dealings. Vehema avirin roa gezerah, and these wipe away the evil decree. Because it causes a whitening, a bleaching of all the sins, which is the aspect of blood coagulates and becomes milk. And also, now this is also why we'll understand why we say kol nidre, that there's a nullification of vows on Yom Kippurim. Because this nullification of vows causes a rectification of our ability to have das, of awareness of Hashem. Because nedarim, making a vow, is completely dependent on knowledge. If a person makes a vow, somebody who's a bar das, it was not a bar das, a person who's retarded or has no awareness, a person who is mentally handicapped in that way and has no real awareness, is not allowed to make a neder, and if he made a neder, he has made a vow, it would not be binding. Ki nedarim tluim b'das, v'chinas ki yipalei lindor neder, v'al yedei tikkun nedarim dam nekar v'naseh chalav. And again, the same thing, that when a person, that the idea of making a neder, a vow, is completely dependent on knowledge of what you're taking upon yourself, and that is that rectification of vows then causes also the same idea of a coagulation of blood, which becomes milk, the idea of the whitening of the sins. Ki pele devar ben dam ledam ben din ledin. Valkein al yedei pegam hanedarim banim mesim has shown, and there's a caution that person who, God forbid, makes a vow and doesn't keep it, causes possibility for his children to die, God forbid. As our sages said in Gemara and Shabbos, ki pegam hanedarim hu bechinas pegam abris, because a blemish of vows, of breaking a breaking of vows is an aspect also of blemishing of the Holy Covenant. Valkein b'yom kippurim b'sha'az hu tikkun abris kinal alkein b'tirin b'saknin hanedarim as kedei l'takin adas kedei l'halbin hadamim b'chinas dam nekav v'naseh chalav. And again, that's why on Yom Kippurim we have kol nidre, we have this aspect of the nullification of vows. And then after Ne'ilah, what do? We have the whole, we say Baruch Shem Kavod Malchus Le'olam Va'ed again in a loud voice. Because we've made this seal, this stamp, this imprint, this complete rectification of the sexual covenant, and therefore there's no more access for evil. So we say Baruch Shem Kavod Malchus Le'olam Va'ed 3 times. These 6 words said 3 times is the aspect of 18 Shehem Chai Tavin Neged Chai Birkan Ditzlosa, and these 18 words are in relationship to the 18 blessings of the Shmona Esrei. Ki az hu gemar shleimus tikkun tefillah shu tikkun bris bechinas tzadik hai almin, and the aspect of where there's rectification and complete fixing, or the complete rectification of the covenant, shenizkeh, to make the complete rectification. May your Yom Kippur be sweet and wonderful. May your fast be effective. May it be joyous. May it be easy. And may you come to the aspect of tikkun in every way. Ken Yehi Ratzon.